Great evening, everybody, and welcome into Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. Come on in, everybody. Take a moment, get your pen, your paper. First of all, just kind of take a breath from today. You might need to be in front of a fan or air conditioner if you're in Baltimore, Maryland,
Yes.
because it's been blazing. But we want to welcome you into Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. My name is Mone't S. Horton. I am the visionary and host. Super excited to have you all tuned in tonight. You're certainly in for a treat. And of course, we are joined tonight with our super amazing co host, Lady Tiara Parker. Say hey to the people.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Listen, everybody, can you believe it that it is like Lady C, can you believe it's the end of the month already?
No. I cannot.
I
I
think
cannot. It's like, how did we get here?
what? How did we,
School
how
was
did
just
we get
over. And now I feel like, August is the perpetual back to school. Like,
in the flow of
yeah,
back to school?
yeah. I don't want
So, and listen, y'all, right. And we are here tonight with a amazing educator. I'm getting ready to just go ahead and share. Our special guest tonight is Mrs. Jeraka Lucas. Let me share a little bit of her bio. She always said, "Hey, y'all, hey."
Hey.
But Mrs. Jeraka Lucas is a passionate and dedicated educator, currently serving as the first grade math teacher at Cecil Elementary School in Baltimore City. With a steadfast commitment to academic excellence and community engagement, she brings creativity, passion, and student centered approach to every learning space she leads. Her educational journey began in 2018 as a substitute teacher at the Wildwood Elementary Middle School, where she quickly discovered her purpose in shaping young minds. Wow. Since then, Mrs. Lucas has continued to grow as an educator and leader within Baltimore City Public Schools, earning a reputation for her engaging teaching style and strong advocacy for students and families alike. Mrs. Lucas holds an associate degree in early childhood education from Baltimore City Community College, okay, and a bachelor's degree in liberal arts with a concentration in education and humanities from Notre Dame of Maryland University. She began her undergraduate studies at Virginia Union University and remains a proud supporter of educational advancement and lifelong learning. In addition to her work in the classroom, Mrs. Lucas is a newly published children's book author. Her debut title, I Am Zara, is a powerful book of affirmations designed to uplift and empower young girls, particularly those who reflect her own story and background. We will get into it today. Her work as an author reflects the same core values she brings to her teaching, representation, encouragement, and self love. Today, we want to take a moment to go ahead and hold on, wait a minute. Beyond her professional achievement, Mrs. Lucas is known for her warm spirit, vibrant personality, and joyful energy. She enjoys spending time with her family, uplifting others in her community, as well as bringing smiles to those around her, often with a colorful outfit and a contagious laugh. Without further ado, welcome, Jeraka Lucas.
Hi, hi
Welcome.
everyone. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Thank you for showing up. I say when you show up, you go up.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And we all already feel your energy, the vibrancy, beautiful smile, just beautiful personality. And that's what definitely drew me to you. And so again, we're excited to have you at Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves tonight. to share what you're doing, to share your story. Of course, author. And tonight, our guests out there tonight, we want to just take a pause again to welcome you in. Click, let us know you are there. Let us know where you're coming in from tonight, if it's here local, if it's abroad, y'all, because we all over. And we want you to lean into this conversation tonight. Here, Sister to Sister, we like to talk about the story behind the glory. Y'all know how we do. When individuals show up, this is a platform where we want to really help individuals to make power moves in their lives, shifting them from their pain points to a position of power, whether it's in their personal lives, their professional lives, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Y'all, it's time to make a move to stir up the gifts within us. And tonight we get to hear from this beautiful, wonderful, vibrant woman who is definitely blazing the trail in her own right as a mother, wife, so many hats that we wear as women, educator, and now newly author. We want to give you time. We read your bio. It's wonderful and you've been doing amazing. But really, what is it in your own words, briefly, before you jump into the story, like what is it that you want people to really like know about you that has brought you to this point in your journey?
Um, I am, I really want people to know that I love, right? I grew up in the church and my mom, she loved the Lord. And one of my takeaways growing up in the church was when people cross my path, what do I want them to leave with? And so, learning about Christ, I learned that no matter what, do love. And so that's what I want everybody to understand about me. Like I'm gonna do the love, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna be there. Even if you're not ready to receive love, some people it takes them a little while.
That's good.
So, I just always want everybody to look at me like, oh, Jeraka, she's a loving person. She looked out for me. She loved me. I know what love feels like because of Jeraka.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Look, you already hitting it because I've been even looking at the fruit of the spirit again, like going back to the basics. And love is definitely
Mhm.
among those, and it's important for us. In your own words, what's the essence of love? What is love?
Um, Sacrifice and selflessness.
Mm,
Sometimes we have to come outside of ourselves, even if we don't agree with things, even
Mhm.
if, our perspective is completely different from someone else, understand that love helps you move forward. Love
mm,
love give you solutions. It's working
yeah.
through it.
Yeah,
That's what I can say. Love is working through it.
Yeah, it
that's
doesn't.
that's good.
Yeah, right. That's real good. It doesn't cut us off. Um,
Hmm.
because I think we talked about before how we're in a culture today where it's like,
Yes.
I don't know, I'm gonna cut you off. I have
Yeah.
to stop myself sometimes, like, listen, because I can be like, listen, it's over.
Don't listen, don't let the love fool you now. I get in my space where I'm like, ah. But then it's like I go back to that space where it's like, what would love do? You know what I mean?
Mm,
So just work through it. That's all
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I love it. I love that. I love that because that's a question. You remember the time where, everybody was going around, what would Jesus do?
hmm.
It's almost like, I mean, when you say that, what would love do? It's almost like, again, what would Jesus do? Because
Yeah.
Yes.
he was of love. He showed us love in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I think that, we do have even a greater responsibility to show up fully every day, um,
Yeah.
to show the love, to do the work that you do, to do the work that all of us to do the work that's in our hands to do whatever
Mhm.
that is.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, what is your the story behind the story that kind of really have moved you to be on this journey of in your career as an educator, and now an author? What's that story?
Um, so the inspiration behind I Am Zara, it actually came from my oldest bonus daughter. She was struggling in first grade, and I remember her life is kind of like it mirrors mine. Like her mom and dad aren't together. My parents divorced. She has to go between two houses. She's taller than most of the girls her age. She's thicker than most of the girls her age. And so one night I was just super emotional, like, why is this world like this? Why do people pick on others? Like, because we're not feeling good. And so it was during the pandemic actually where we had to sit in the house. It was a lot of time to think. And I was finishing up my degree, and I just thought of a story. Like, what if I write a book, for children to affirm them from A to Z? And so honestly, y'all, I just like start typing on my computer like one day, and the words just came. It was almost like God was like, "Yes, this is what I need from you. This is what I want from you." And the words just started flowing. And so I got super emotional because I was like, even though I'm writing this story and it's personal, I think it's gonna touch a lot of young girls. Um when we in the classroom, when I see like moms drop their daughters off, it's like, oh, the purse, the hair, the uniform, the socks, the shoes. And it's like sometimes it has to be the word, because you can look good and still not feel good on the inside. And so um I was like, I'm gonna write this story. And I start thinking about all of the words, like A is for awesome, B is for brave. Like I just start going down. And then I personally stumbled on X. And I was like, well, how can I, without giving the story away, I was like, how can I find a word for X? Like, how can I do this? And I started thinking, well, I'm Jeraka, I'm me. And so I was like, well, maybe if I find a name or something, I could incorporate that into the book. And so years later, after the pandemic, I went into work and I was like, I need to get this. God would not let me rest, y'all. He was like, this book needs to go out. You need to get on top of it. So one day I posted on my social media, like, I need an illustrator.
Mhm.
And my friend was like, well, my daughter, she is in the School of the Arts. And so I was like, well, I need an illustrator for my book. I have the vision. I want I don't see children's book with chunky girls in there with the big hair. And so that's how the image of Zara came. And I was like, that's like me. And so once we finished the pictures, I found a publisher, and here we are. I'm Zara. Like I'm me. That's the story
Mhm.
behind Zara. Like I'm Jeraka, and I want every little girl, every woman, every girl to feel like they are themselves, which is beautiful, courageous, love, talented, whatever you feel like you are. That's what I want you to, affirm yourself with.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So your storyline is from A to Z, and again, we're not going to. Y'all have to purchase the book.
Yeah.
You have to support. So it takes any young woman through A to Z with affirmations. I love
Mhm.
it. I love it. I actually have your bookmark right here. Yay! Says you are kind, you are smart, you are important. I believe in you. I am Zara. I love it. And
Thank
so
you.
with that, this it seems like the story, like you said, is yours, but also it brought kind of unraveled also from your daughter's
Mhm.
experience that you observed.
Yeah.
And so did her, did you like bring her into it, or was it more so like just the observations, or in terms of like in the affirmation, as you were pulling, it together? Was it any input or any other things or conversations that helped in that process?
Yeah, the I think it was the initial conversation her and I had, like, um, she felt uncomfortable going to first grade. She was very scared. Um, it was in the pandemic. She didn't know what to expect. And so that initial conversation her and I had with each other, um, it made me start thinking about my own life and my own story and how I felt uncomfortable, even though we weren't in a pandemic. It was still like that first day of first grade, because first grade is the big grade, pre-K and kindergarten. It's still a little baby five, but first grade,
You
it
land
gets
the
crazy.
foundation. Yeah.
Right. And so she was just super nervous, and I remember that. So that's what kind of like drove the actual story. Just
Yeah.
me and my me reminiscing about when I went to first grade and then what she was feeling.
Right. Look, you sharing that, it kind of took me back to my experience in elementary,
Yeah.
first grade, around somewhere around that time. And I remember doing a project. I think I still have it in my basement somewhere. But we had, how they say go get your posters and all these other things, and we had to
Hmm.
think of adjectives that described us.
Yeah.
And so I am smart, I am intelligent, like what you had right here. It
Yep.
was actually, who am I?
Yep.
And I think this is so important, not only even at the tender age, the young age. I mean, like you said, it's laying the foundation.
Hmm.
But let's just talk about womanhood, period. As women, it's women who, at that you have the age,
Yeah.
but you ask them, who are you? Who am I?
Right. Right. Right.
No.
It's funny that you say that because at the Juneteenth event, my husband was like, someone asked him, was it just for children? He was like, it could be for grown women. And I started thinking, like, keep on saying that. And I'm like, it helped me as a grown woman. So why not another grown woman? And so it's a book for humans. I'ma just say that
I
because
love that.
even if young boys read it, our I want children um to feel good about themselves. We live in a world where everything is on a computer. And so um when you're talking to children in real life and in the classroom, they're not aware of themselves. All they know is what they think they are through the computer, through the screen. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that's in our mind. Like we respond, we react, and it's driven from that little girl that we're trying to heal from.
Mhm.
Yeah. You just took it right out my ear, right? Because that part, that the healing part,
Yeah.
because you have, and of course I've heard it before, but I think I was in passing and I saw um someone have a quote, or it was a post about healing the young girl within.
Yes.
And so I think that this is just necessary.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
from every angle, whether it's the young girl, whether it's the woman, wherever you are on that spectrum, the young
Yeah.
man who is even looking for, how do I affirm,
Mhm.
my sister, my mother, the
Our
woman in
wife.
my
Yes.
life, my wife. Um, it can go in so many different angles.
Hmm.
And so I just love the fact that you took what you that what your observations, your own story, and all of it collectively, with the passion and the drive that God has given you, because you like He wouldn't let you. Look, I heard you when you say He wouldn't let me
He
go.
wouldn't. I mean, and even my dad, God rest his soul, like my dad, he was like, I just want you to publish that book. I just want you to publish it. You gotta publish it. And so
Mm.
I published it. I lost my dad last year in March.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I gotta do this. This was my way of coping.
Yeah.
And so um I just was like, I gotta push it out. You know what I mean? My dad was a great force in my life. He helped
Mhm.
me overcome so many obstacles where I'm like, Dad, I don't feel like I'm good enough. He's like,
Mhm.
you better get up. You know who you are. And he would ask me, like, well, who are you? You know? And so I was just like, I gotta push this out for my dad, you know. And then another inspiration behind Zara, I I lost my mom at 17, and so having to go through life and not always feeling good. Like
Yeah.
I constantly had to look in the mirror like, you got this. You are Jeraka. You are Jeraka Nicole Brown. You are Pam and Gerald's daughter. Like you gotta do this. You can do it. And so I would hype myself up, you know. And
Mhm.
so that's another thing that um inspired me with Zara. I would have to tell my oldest girl, like, you got this. Like you are beautiful. Like no matter what
Yes.
words of other people say, the words that you say to yourself, you're beautiful. Like don't think down on yourself. Like uplift yourself. And so Zara is just my life. It's my baby. It's my life. It's my story. It's everything to me.
Yeah.
What did you learn about yourself in this journey of writing this book?
Um,
Mm.
that above everything, I'm patient.
Mm.
Because you know, especially in the culture of the world today, it's like I want to push it out there. I want to brag about this. And oh, I got this project coming up. Oh, y'all just wait.
Mhm.
Um, I had to take my time. I really had to make sure that everything flowed together, um, that it was catchy, uh, the type of words that I wanted to use, you know, even down to in the book, it has like the colors of the affirmation. All of the other letters are black, but the affirmation words are colorful.
Oh,
Um, so it just was a lot of thinking. And I like to rush into things. Like I'm learning that about myself. I want to rush. I want to get it done. I want to get it done. I want to get it done. But with Zara, I was just like, I gotta be patient. It took me about, I think, like 4 years to get it together to publish it. So I really had to take my time.
Yeah. And what came to my mind was give yourself also grace in certain spaces,
yes.
because like you said, you
Hmm.
got stuck at certain points and it's like, wait a minute. Like even though I'm birthing this out,
Hmm.
I'm still like going through the a process myself. It can be
Yes.
therapeutic, it can be healing, it can be whoa.
Mhm.
Ooh, this some stuff is showing up for me. Let me take a
Yes.
break. Let me step back. Let me breathe. Then go back in.
Yes. It
Um,
definitely. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, good. Go ahead.
It definitely sent me through a range of emotions. Um, one of the biggest emotions was like, I can't believe this. I really did it. You
Yeah.
know, we do wear so many hats. Um, we start things, we stop them. But I was like, I really wrote a book, and it made me think about my mom. She was so educational. She wanted to have 1,000,001 degrees. She wanted to open up a group home for girls. Like she just had all of these ideas.
Mhm.
And when I actually received the book, um, when the publisher dropped the physical copies off, I was just like, oh my gosh, my mom will be so proud of me. Like I was
Mm.
like so emotional. Like
Yes.
this book is not just for me or my oldest daughter. It's for every girl in the world that, then grew up like Like, and I start thinking about my mom, like, she would be like, excuse me, this book right here, this is my daughter. She wrote this. You need to purchase it. It's 12.95. Like, she would be going off
Yeah.
if she was here. And so I sat with that emotion. Like,
Yeah.
I my mom and my grandmothers, I know they would be so proud of me because I wrote this book, and it's about the girly girl in me, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I know, that they are just your top cheerleaders and
Yes.
yes,
smiling down and
yes.
over and um uh, just ecstatic about all that you have birthed. And even as you're talking it out now, I could definitely see, I'm not sure if you already started your second book, like I can already hear the dialogue for two, even like the conversation that you was talking about with your dad. I can see
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
in the script. I mean, I could literally like see that, like,
I already finished my second story.
okay.
I'm looking for,
Yes.
I'm looking for an illustrator. Um,
Congratulations. This is
thank
amazing.
Awesome.
you. Thank you. And it's about my dad. It's about my dad
Wow.
and my baby girl.
Wow.
So yeah,
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
want to push that out. It's coming soon. So yeah.
That is awesome. Yes. I mean, talking about those, and you talked about your process and being transparent about that and open about, okay, it took me 4 years. Yes, I said yes to the process, but it takes time. I had to give myself, that grace and all of that. Um, can you take a moment to just like speak to the person who may be like going back and forth about saying yes to the process? They're
Yeah.
sitting on 50% or maybe 90% of a transcript
Mhm.
and just is trying to get that next second win to
Mhm.
push it out. Um, what would you say to that person?
Um, I would say like allow yourself some grace. That's the first thing. Every good thing takes time. You
Mm.
know, surround yourself with people that inspire you. Surround yourself with people who motivate you to get things done in your life. You know, stay away from those that constantly remind you of you being stuck. Like, oh, when are you gonna get this done? When you gonna like stay away from those people? All that's gonna do is just, send your mind into a frenzy and make you feel defeated. So just, stay around those that are like-minded, affirm yourself, pray about it, sit with it, and understand that everything is a process. Your process may be 10 years. Some people process maybe 15 years, but it's all in God's timing and the right timing. This book was the right timing for my life. So, if I would have had it my way, I would have been pushing it out there too soon or too late, but just allow yourself the time and the patience and just sit with it, sit with it.
Oh, I hope y'all are getting and grabbing up all of those juicy nuggets. Listen, because the reality is we all have something in our hands that we have not pushed out, that we have not birthed, that we have not manifested, however you want to put it, whatever your word is something that you may be sitting on. But the point is that in due time, right? And I know sometimes that we want to stay accountable because it's a balance there. We want to stay accountable to the goal that we are committed to, but also in that, like you said, it's some things that we have to learn, and it's another person sometimes before we get to the end result that we have to become in the process. And
Right,
sometimes you're not that person just yet to
right,
receive or to birth out whatever the scenario, whatever the situation is. Uh,
right.
and to be okay with that and to really just embrace that process. I learned that a couple of years ago, and it's definitely changed my life. Definitely changed my life when we learn how to just kind of sit in it, because I know for me, sometimes I can want to get to the end result so much and so quickly, like you were saying, that it's like really the most important thing in this process is to embrace the journey. Because when
Yes.
you get to the end, somebody needs to learn all of your ebbs and flows and lessons that you picked up in the process.
Yeah, yeah. So the first time I went to try to publish the book, I actually was scammed. So I was trying to support, I'm always down to support our people. And I went to support this young girl from Facebook, and we were going back and forth. And I remember I was in the store and I was like, you know what, I'm about to give up. Like, this is too much. Like, I'm always trying to support people. Like, here I am getting scammed. Like, maybe this book is not what it. But
Mhm.
again, I needed to see myself in, that moment. Like, you know what? I pushed through that hard time. It messed my trust up with people. But I was like, you know what? I came back from it. And I just feel like that was a powerful moment because anytime things get hard for me, I'll weep, I'll cry about it. But this journey was like, no, fight back, get up. Like,
Yeah,
you gotta fight back. This is just a moment in time. Like, you're gonna move forward, you're gonna move past this, and you're gonna find another publisher. And I did, and she's so amazing. Like, she walked me through the process. She took her time, and it like gained my trust back that there are good people who want to see you do well out there without even knowing you you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. And that's so good because it also shows us that in every process, like when God gives us something and he gives us a mandate, he gives us a vision to get it done. It does not mean that it's going to come without valleys and troubles and
Yes.
issues,
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
but it's something in us, a perseverance, resilience that
Mhm.
he wants to build in
Mhm.
us.
Yep.
Yes.
Because I'm sure now, as you get to your next book, now because you've learned and you've been over those hurdles, it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to take 4 years.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
not
It's
even
gonna
going to take
take
four
4 months.
months. Come on, listen, come on, come on. We all connected already. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. Yep. Yep.
Because they were necessary. So
Yeah.
as those who are viewing tonight, this is a divine moment, right? For you, you're not here by happenstance, tuning in, listen to the replay, however, but you're here for a purpose. Whatever that thing is in your life, it might not be writing a book, it might not be publishing, but whatever your it is, and
Yes.
we want to encourage you to don't get thrown off course from the distractions, from the hurdles, the
Yeah.
challenges that arise.
Mhm.
That's when you have to truly pull up your bootstraps, all those other things, whatever garment,
Yes.
pull up, get it up,
Yes.
whatever you
Yes.
want to do, and get to work. And that's when you
Mhm.
lean in. It's
Yeah.
easy for us to fall back and to say, that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
set
important.
guidelines of life, you
And it's
know.
important to remember God wastes nothing. He wastes nothing. And I think sometimes we forget that everything happens for a reason, whether it's him protecting us from ourselves and rushing into something that he knew you needed more time for, or whatever the case. Or maybe you would have gotten connected with a publisher who wouldn't have cared as much, who wouldn't have been as genuine about the
Right.
success of your book and your story.
Mhm.
But now you have someone who is genuinely as invested as you are, and
Yep.
that in itself is a blessing. I think sometimes we forget how important those hurdles and those side steps are, because
Mhm.
they make us who we are. They build us
Yeah.
up. They girth us up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so true. Like, you know, I think that God just aligned things for us to be like, oh my God, look at
Yeah.
that. This this happened, that happened, but I'm here at the finish line and I'm
Yes,
amazed of me. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like, look at God how he growing me up. So,
Yeah.
that part,
I
that
think
part.
those moments are very important. I definitely learned that through this journey.
Yeah, and to celebrate the growth and like, oh, I thought it was going to be a straight line, but those zigzags,
Yeah.
Listen.
so they paint, it gives color to our lives, process.
Yes.
Everything is really not pretty. It like,
Yes.
but it's so necessary.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and thus the affirmations, right? You have to speak to
Yeah.
yourselves in the journey of life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um And as you go through and you continue to go through and break through, um, there you'll see that your affirmations, the little things that you may focus on, your understanding and self-awareness is heightened, right? The little things
Mhm.
that
Yes.
you used to
Yes. Yes.
mumble and grumble over, it's like, no, like, my perspective is bigger, now
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
broadens your
Mm-hmm.
horizon. And like you said, it just goes back to the growth. um
Yeah.
your story is just so inspiring, and tonight, as we're talking about how you are clearly going beyond the classroom, I want us to kind of wrap
Mm-hmm.
back around, because you've been on this journey as an educator. And how is this story impacted, or how have you like included, infused it in what you do every day in the classroom?
Yeah. Um, so I finished the book right before school started, this 24-25 year, and it made me see my students' heart instead of their minds. In school, it's just like, oh, what do they know? What do they know? What do they know? What do they know? But I think this year I wanted to connect more with their hearts, because I, sometimes I feel like we don't check in with kids and ask them what they're feeling in the
Yeah.
classroom. Um, how do they see themselves? What type of learner they feel they are. And so I had a lot of morning questions and stuff with them, like, well, how are you feeling, like, do you need a moment today, like, even though first graders, they're still aware of themselves, they still
Yes.
feel, they still go through their changes and process it, and they have a perspective about it. And so it made me like check in with them more. Like, we had situations during recess, I'm like, you know what, I'm not teaching today. We're gonna have a restorative circle. Y'all tell me what y'all feel and how y'all see what's happening. It just made me really like get into the habit of checking with them, with their emotions more, what their perspectives are, instead of just like 1 plus 1 is 2, like,
Yeah.
drilling their mind. I this year, it was just a emotional, not in like a sad emotional check-in, but just like, building that relationship. Like, I care about how you see yourself in this world. I care about how you want to grow into certain things. I asked them a lot of questions about themselves in the future, and I just learned so much about my students. It almost made me feel like I don't want to teach the traditional way. Like, I want to,
Mhm.
teach in another kind of way. So that's how Zara made me like really see my classroom, you know.
Connecting with your students in that way, did you see a difference in how they performed in class, their connection with their peers, their even in
Yeah.
their conversation with you?
Yeah, I saw their confidence. That's one thing that I
Mm.
definitely took away from this school year. I had a kid who, he would not come to class if he was having a bad morning. Like, he would not come, he would cry, he would be so emotionally distraught. But by the end of the year, I did an after school program with him. By the end of the year, he jumped from red all the way to green. So it was just like
Mm.
his reading skills improved, his math skills improved. It was just like, oh wow, just talking to them,
Yeah.
just taking a moment out, because teaching is like, we gotta move, we gotta move, we gotta go, go,
Yes.
go. But when I slowed things down to actually get to know my students, it was just like I saw that confidence.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I know that education is has become very data driven, just based on because just knowing educators and having
Mhm.
educators in my family. But when you are a person of heart and you care about your students
Yeah.
first, it makes it challenging.
Yes.
But the relationships are so different when
Mhm.
you lead with your heart
Yeah.
versus.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's amazing because they have a teacher that they'll never forget.
Yeah. And
You've
it's
created connections that are just completely everlasting.
yes. It's It is so wild that I wrote this story about a girl in the first grade because of myself and my oldest girl. I'm a first grade teacher, and my first grade teacher, she shaped my mind for this world. Like
Mm,
out of all of my teachers, I remember my first grade teacher. Like that's crazy. I just thought about that. That's
that's
crazy.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it just affirms the journey that you
Yes.
are
Yes.
on
Yep. Yeah.
Like
and
full circle.
how it has just, yes, it just came full circle.
Full
And
circle.
now you get to pour into these young people. Um
Mhm.
the moment that Lady T asked you about the last question when you said confidence, you wouldn't
Mhm.
that I had just wrote because that was my next question about confidence. And so as you were expounding, what it's also showing up or just coming to my mind is how important what you're doing is, how it is so important because social skills, your ability to express yourself
Yes.
in a manner is so important.
Mhm.
I think it's so very important even today because you have we have children who are dealing with autism, and you have different, you just have so many, whether it's
Mhm.
diagnosed, not diagnosed, you
Yeah.
have just so many different learning styles, ways of expression. You have them coming from different homes, some homes where they welcome having conversations, some
Yeah.
you better not ask me anything,
Right. Right.
Mhm.
unfortunately. So it's so you having that restorative circle and opportunity in class for them
Mhm.
to express themselves is definitely feeding into who they are and laying that foundation,
Yes.
because some hide it in, I mean, it's deep down into their pinky toe,
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
oh,
Mhm.
she's asking who am I, you have some
Yeah.
adults who's like a brick wall.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, can I have
Mhm.
permission to
Mm,
Yes.
say how I am. And
Mhm.
in so many ways, it's giving them a permission to show up,
yes.
to express themselves
Yes.
Authentically.
Yes.
authentically.
Hmm.
I don't have to go on that path of comparison, comparing
Right.
Yeah.
myself to my neighbor.
Yes.
Listen, I just had that conversation with my oldest daughter. I call her my big girl.
Yeah.
I said, I'm giving you permission to be happy with yourself. Like you
Mm,
have permission. Be happy with yourself. Don't worry about your friends. Like, don't worry about social media, TikTok, all of that. Like, you have permission to be happy. Be yourself, whatever that looks like. As long as you're not hurting anybody, like you're
yes.
not hurting yourself. Be you. Be happy. So that I think that permission part, as a woman, I needed that. I had
Mhm.
my big cousin. She would, like, when I go through my episodes where I'm missing my parents or missing my brother, and I'm just like beating myself down. And she would be like, you have permission to feel how you want to feel. You have permission to be happy. You have permission to go through this moment and come out on top. Like, I'm giving you permission to just be. And so I took that and, talked to my oldest girl. And listen, I live by that permission statement. Like, we as
Yeah.
women, we have permission to be happy. We have
Yeah.
permission to take that. Look, I'm not a great mom today, because I'm
Mhm.
exhausted. I'm worn out. So I'm gonna take that hat off. You have permission. Like, I husband. I need my space. I'm not in the best place as a wife. I'm giving myself permission to take that hat off. Like we wear so many hats, and so I think it's important for us to give ourselves that permission and our friends too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's really good. I
The
like that a
hat
lot.
and the cape. The hat and the cape. The superwoman.
Yes.
Like, who said you had to be superwoman? Like, come
Look,
on.
put the shield
Mm.
down, take the cap off, take the hat
Listen.
off.
The mask.
Like,
Listen.
yes, take it all off. Yes,
And just be, like you said. I mean, this is it's such a powerful, needed, necessary conversation. um
yes,
I'm so just so happy and glad that you have been resilient. You've pressed through your own life circumstances and situations and things that have shown up to you, shown
mhm,
up for you in life. And you've created now this legacy now, right, that you can pour
yes,
to your family, your children, your students, and it's going to keep growing and
yes,
growing and growing and growing and growing. And I'm just excited about that. Always loving to see how individuals, their process of writing and getting it out of them.
yes.
Because what people don't know that it's so many different things. You can start on
Mm-hmm.
100, like, yes, come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like 5 minutes later, it's like you done hit a hurdle and like, wait a minute. What
You
happened?
done exhausted all that energy. I'm down now. Yeah.
Yeah, and so in this process, what have you learned about yourself in the writing process? Can you give any tips or kind of shed some light on your process? What are some things that work best for you? And maybe some things that you kind of thought worked best and it's like, no, I had to grow from that.
Um, well, one, it was the excitement.
Mm,
I was like, oh my gosh, I can write a story that everybody is gonna read, and but I think what kind of like brought me into the moment of, writing everything was when I would put the house down, like, cook dinner, put the kids to bed. I would sit in the dining room in the dark
mm,
and just me and my computer, and I would just type, and I would just keep letting the words flow. Like, I honestly, y'all, God was really giving me the words. I was in the
Mm-hmm.
dark. Some nights I was tired, but it was still like, here I am on this computer, like, oh, instead of saying this, I could say that. Um, I just had to really sit with myself.
yeah.
Um, Another tip is be inspired that you can do it. You know what I mean? So many times we have those voices of somebody back in elementary school, like, oh, you're a weirdo, or you know what I mean? And it's like, no, interrogate your thoughts back, like draw out those negative words, draw out those comments that made you feel less than, and just build yourself up in that moment. Like, I can do this. Just a little silent, I can do this, I'm doing it, I'm gonna finish, like, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep going. So, just again, back to the story, affirm yourself. When nobody wants to, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Say that again for the people in the back. Like when the
When
people,
nobody wants to, you have to. You
oh,
have to.
you need to go ahead and put that in the tagline somewhere in the book or somewhere. Listen,
Liz, I will. I will. I will.
because oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
My dad always told me, like, he would tell me, you go to sleep with yourself. You are with yourself your whole life. You know you. When you wake up, you're with yourself. Like, you can't get away from yourself. So you have to. Like, you have to get through it. You have to get through it.
you have to get through it and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Your tunnel, don't compare your tunnel to somebody else's tunnel. As you were talking about your
Mm-hmm.
process and how you were writing once you put everyone, to bed, how you would sit up in the dark and with your computer.
Mm-hmm.
It just took me to like the process of how pictures are developed. Like It develops in the dark.
Yes.
All the light that is produced
Ah,
in the
oh,
dark.
your mercy.
So don't despise your process or your dark
Mhm.
space. I'm talking to myself right now.
Listen, I'm going back in my head. I remember sitting in that dining room in that little space. I had a little desk set up because I was in school too, and like I was sitting there in the dark, like, and I'm a little scared of the dark sometimes. You're like, what is that? Do you see that flower?
As soon as
You
those
know,
lights go off, you start hearing other things.
yeah. You start hearing the pipe. You start hearing the water. You know, like what is the water dripping in the drain? Like, so your mind is like your mind just opens up in the dark, So um I just really just sat in the dark a lot with this writing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
picture analogy is dope.
Yeah. Like, oh, and so as you even just said, you know how this conversation just brings things up. And
Yes.
like we literally just said that in the dark, like you didn't lock that door, you didn't turn them lights out,
Mhm.
but things start you start hearing things, somebody scratching, the cat outside, the dog down the hallway, or that, down the
Yep.
block is barking, it's a siren, it's a bird, it's a train, it's all of these
Yeah.
distractions. But y'all,
Yes.
let's talk up, like it's so real. and,
Hmm.
and for the person that's out there listening tonight, that you may be in your dark season, you may be in that season in the dark, you
Yes.
feel like you're alone, you may feel all of these, you hearing things, right?
Hmm.
um but those, are synonymous with distractions and things of that nature. But
Hmm.
plowing through, don't let it stop you, don't let it block you,
Hmm.
don't let it hold you down. If it
Right.
grips on you a little bit, listen for a second, but don't let it hold you down forever, longer than what it's necessary, because
Yes.
everything is a part of the process.
Yeah.
um but it's your time, our time, to be developed.
Yeah.
Are you willing to be developed?
Mm. That's a word right there. Are you willing
Are
to?
you are you willing to, Monet? Are you willing to be developed? Are you
Yeah.
willing to embrace the hard space and the hard process, and,
Hmm.
and, and stay consistent even in the midst of distractions, y'all?
Yes.
To
Yes.
keep plowing through.
And then your response is, I am. Look
I,
at that.
I,
I am.
I am. Listen, because the dark space is a part of our cross that we must all
Mm-hmm. Mm.
carry.
Yes.
If
Because what's
God
done in the
came
dark.
down, would we be right? It's yeah. So
Yes.
what's your
Yes.
cross? What is it? And are you willing to be developed in the dark spaces? They're necessary, but you got to know that it's going
Mm-hmm.
to take you to the light.
Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
if you abort it, if you stay stuck
Mm-hmm.
in the middle, y'all, if you stay stuck in the middle, your picture will not be fully developed.
Develop.
You won't see all the intricate parts and the
You
details.
got to go through that process.
You
You
have
got
to
to
do
go through
it.
that process. You have. You have to.
Look, you done stirred up so. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Woo! Amazing.
Yeah.
So, what are some other things that I know you said you just actually got it out there beginning of the year, coming into this year, um, and you're on your second book. What are some things that you're already doing or that you like to? I don't know if you're doing book clubs, groups, like young girl groups, like what my mind
I'm
already.
actually um I am, because I'm working with Coach G Academy. The affiliation, like she is, everybody check out Coach G Academy. Step is life.
I know when you said
Um,
earlier, like I know I've heard of Coach G. Okay.
Yeah, Coach Gary.
Mhm.
I'm working with her, so I'm learning a lot about networking and things of that nature. Because believe it or not, I get shy, you know. So I sometimes I'm like, I want to ask this question, but then I'll be like, girl, get yourself together and get over there. But I'm learning how to network.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually working with one of my friends. She just published her children's book, so she's showing me how to format some things so that I can get my book on Amazon. Because right now I just have the physical copies. You
Okay.
contact me on my social media platforms, and then I'll deliver it myself. Um, but yeah, I'm looking to publish my second book and launch it in March of 2026.
Mhm.
I do want to start like a healing group, for women who've lost their parents,
Mhm.
lost their moms, just a space where we can just, talk and go through the healing journey with each other, like a grievance type of group.
Mhm.
So I definitely want to get that up and running in 2026. Other than that, I'm just learning how to like find these book clubs and sign up for them. Miss Tucker, well, Miss Janine, she's helping me get my book into the library. I definitely want to do that. And so it's just like little things that I'm learning how to do, put myself out there more, get on the podcast and open up about my story because I was really shy about it at first, but
Mhm.
the more I do it, the more I'm comfortable and sharing my story with everyone.
Yes. Well, listen,
And
you are definitely in the flow of it, and you just stepped on out there. Here we say flow is fearlessly level up, overcome, and win. And you are certainly
Yes.
in the zone. We appreciate you, Jerika, really coming by tonight and sharing your story. So many divine moments and connections as we have,
Yes.
dialogue tonight. And so the story shall continue that more to come.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are a beautiful spirit. I mean, let me tell you,
Thank
you
you.
listen, I love it, love it, love it. Now tell
Thank
us
you.
how we can stay connected with you. You already kind of started sharing about how individuals can get the book, but take a moment and share how to stay connected and where can they lock in and help support you in purchasing your book or just
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Jeraka_Lucas 18. I'm on Facebook under Jeraka Lucas as well. And those are like my only two platforms right now that I work with is Instagram and Facebook. Um, and yeah, you just hit me up on my social media and then we'll go from there.
awesome, 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 y'all. So get your book, and even if you want to just sow a seed into, you might say, "Hey, I'm not able to get the book," but you can sow a seed. All is welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Get your book. I love the illustration. Excited to
Thank you.
see, what comes out of your next publication and all the other merchandise that will
Yes.
come. Um,
Yes, I want to start a coloring book thing. Like, I do want to take off with Zara. That's my baby. That's my story. So I have a few ideas, in the box that I'm unlocking. So,
Yeah, yeah. So,
yes,
stay encouraged, keep going. We out here looking, we are cheering for you
thank
here at
yes,
you.
the on the sidelines, and look forward to other opportunities to connect and continue to network and get out of the box, because sometimes we can be in our comfort zone, but we declare
mhm,
Yes, definitely.
that is not a place for me. That is not a place for
Yes,
us. The comfort
yes,
zone. But also we celebrate you and how you have taken this movement beyond the classroom, and you're impacting lives
yes,
from your family, from your home to the classroom and into the
Yes.
community. You are impacting lives, one story at a time, one encounter at a time, one testimony at a
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So continue to do that work. We know that there is some heavy lifting, before us all, but we want to just celebrate you for what you have done and encourage you to continue on the journey.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for having me. You guys were a pleasure to speak with.
Yeah.
And you made me feel real comfortable. I like the flow and not a show.
Yes.
Y'all was flowing.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what it's all about. And we're
Mhm.
just really humbled at creating this space for those to share. I know sister has helped me to get out of my box, and it's
Yes.
just important and again necessary. So everybody, we thank you for tuning in
Yes.
tonight
Thank
with
you, Jericho.
Thank
super
you. Thank you guys.
amazing yes guest tonight. And Lady T, did you have any closing remarks or any words before we close out tonight?
Oh no, you guys did it. It was perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect.
So y'all listen, you want to we're locking down on July. This is the last I'm gonna say this is the last week. So you
Mhm.
want to go ahead and start your journey on whatever your it is. We talked about it.
Yes.
Let's get it done. You got some more nuggets tonight that hopefully will empower you to make that power move in your life. Again, move from a point of pain to a position of power. This has
Yes.
been another Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. Meet us here next week. Don't just meet us here, but beat us here. We'll be back here 7 o'clock, and you know what we do. We go higher and higher and higher. Take care, take charge, and God bless you all. Thank you, Jerrica. See
Thank
you all.
you.
Bye.
See you.